Why have you and why do you shop at DrumWright?
Right, my folks lived rather, relatively close, about 25 minutes away. So when I was at my folks' house or back here, and it would be the place to come. You know, it would be the closest place and the closest big, knowledgeable place where you could sit and talk with the staff about drums. You know, it's not just, listen, what do you want? Get out the store. It was, okay, well, did you hear this CD, or did you hear this guy, or see this, and all the rest of it. And it was a cool place, and it was close, and the masterclass. I remember I lived in Devon for a little while, and I remember my dad very generously drove me after work all the way up from Devon to see Ricky Lawson here. You guys put on masterclasses and clinics, and at Christmas you guys have the sale thing, or just after Christmas in the New Year, with, you know, mince pies and stuff for the customers and cups of tea, and, you know, it doesn't feel like a shop. It feels like a drum community hang, you know, which is cool. It's like I don't know of many other shops that do that at Christmas. You know, have mince pies and, you know, tea and coffee and all the rest of it. You've got a great venue just 50 yards across the way, where you can put clinics on, and it's great. The amount of people I've seen here: Steve Smith, Ricky Lawson, Keith Carlock, just tons of people. They come here, and this is one of the major retailers that they choose to come to, because I guess they get treated well, and, you know, there's loads of stock, and it's great.
Cool. Big names.
It's the most rock and roll moment.
Yeah.
I don't really know. There've been lots of rock and roll moments which maybe I can't talk about for whatever reason, but as far as that Tom Jones gig's concerned, that was amazing. We did a bunch of gigs and some promo, and that was actually the first, like, I owe everything to my folks. You know, my parents are so supportive, and I'd ring up my mum and be like, Mum, I've got these gigs, this little mini tour with, you know, Girls Aloud or whoever, and she'd be like, oh my God, you know, that's amazing, I'm so proud, you know. I could get dressed in the morning and she'd be proud, you know, it's brilliant. And I'd ring my dad up and be like, Dad, you know, I'm doing this gig with Girls Aloud. All right, okay, great, here's your mum, and sort of pass the phone over, because I don't think he really knew who any of them were. And then I got the Tom Jones gig. And I always assumed that my dad would be like, or was saying to his workmates or whatever, you know, what does your son do? Oh, he's a drummer, but, you know, you'll figure it out. And then the more I did it, the more he kind of came, you know, it was like, okay, well, maybe you can do this, you know. And then I got the Tom Jones gig, and I rang him up. I was like, hey, Dad, guess who I'm working with? He goes, don't know, it's Tom Jones. The Tom Jones? I've heard of him. You know, like... And from that moment on, you would tell everybody, oh, my son's a drummer, he plays with Tom Jones. You know? It was kind of like the moment where I think he thought, wow, you know, my son's actually a drummer. So it's not all that rock and roll, but that particular gig that you mentioned was just like, yeah, okay, it's cool, I can totally do this.
Yeah.
You know, my daddy was mega supportive anyway. All of a sudden, I think understood, like, oh, that's what he does. Okay, right. Okay, well,
so it's not just people I've never heard of.
Yeah, right. Sure. Probably first and foremost, I think the most criminally underrated drummer in the world, and I've got to stop saying this, but he was Carlos Vega.
Yeah.
Who played with James Taylor and Madonna and Vince Gill and Bonnie Raitt and Whitney Houston and a whole bunch of people, like a real song drummer. Carlos Vega, Jeff Porcaro, Vinnie Colaiuta, probably Dave Weckl for the influence he had. There are loads of guys. Sort of Weckl and Vinnie are my two big sort of American. The guys that are still around. I think Vinnie's pushing the instrument further, musically speaking, than I think anybody else ever could. And it's not a case of he gets to a part in the song and it's, oh, there's a lick or whatever, you know, because all that's easy. I mean, it's not easy. That's a really stupid thing to have said. But what I mean by that is, he'll be playing a song, and if you slow it down enough, anybody can play it.
Yeah.
I can teach my nan. Okay, that's right hand, left foot, left hand, right foot, right hand, left foot, left hand, right foot. The ladder, as it's nicknamed, or the bluster, it's a flam, and then right, right, left. They're all stickings. They're all binary stickings. They're either right hand, left hand, right foot, left foot.
Mm-hmm.
It can all be done. It's all humanly achievable. But it's the ideas. It's you know, he'll be playing a song and he'll play something, and it will be like, not only is it perfectly executed, but it will be, what headspace are you in to be thinking of how to play that?
Yeah.
You know, it's people can copy it and go, okay, he's doing this, blash, blah, 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 blash, blah, 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 blash. But what were you thinking to have come up with that? Where is your head at? You know, and that you can't learn. I think you have. That's that's the result of a musical life, listening to certain people and thinking in a certain direction and being influenced by other musicians, not necessarily just drummers. But it's the ideas that Vinny has. You know, technically there are guys like Virgil Donati and you know, other players who are pushing physically the boundaries of the instrument in terms of speed, in terms of George Callias at Drummer Live this weekend. I don't think I've ever seen anybody play the bass drums that fast. Incredible, but it doesn't move me in the same way that Vinny does, because, you know, the ideas that Vinny has and the execution are just simply incredible. Just to add to that list of my favourite groove guys, Carlos and Jeff, and then Vinny and Weckl. By the way, have you ever heard Vinny groove? Yeah. Because he can do that too. Like Ringo and Stuart Copeland. We were talking about this at the weekend. It's you can play a beat to a Beatles song, and it's like, well, that's Ticket to Ride, or that's Strawberry Fields, or that's you know, Get Back, or that's whatever, you know. Stuart Copeland, Roxanne. Well, I know what that song is by listening to the drum beat. Yeah. And Don't Stand So Close to Me on the Rye Belt. Ding 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 ding. You know, you know what that song is by the drum beat. I mean, to make that impression from a non-tonal instrument, from a non-musical instrument, in the terms that it doesn't have notes, to be able to come up with it, We Will Rock You. I mean, it's probably the most powerful thing. You get a stadium of people doing that, and they're going, oh yeah, we were all doing the We Will Rock You beat. Do you know what that is for the drum beat? Those guys are just, to be able to come up with a beat or a part to a song is incredible, and everybody looks for that all the time. But it's just not as easily done as you'd think.